UCLA was damn good with the O'Bannon brothers. So, yeah, you're right. That started all of those things. All right, so this is just where we are right now in the state of college football. And we saw this from the Wall Street Journal. The college sports gold rush is about to run into a brick wall, and I think this reporting by Rachel Bachman is dialed in. She writes, top football squads like Ohio State will be paid up to $35 million next season, and they won't be alone. Now, that $35 million number, it's important to remember, that's NIL. So that's not the cost of, that's not the money that you're going to get from the TV, the revenue share. That's not any of that. That's payroll for NIL. And that 35 number is conservative compared to what others are spending. And I would say the same thing if I was at the University of Texas and we were doing this show in Austin, or if we were doing this show in Birmingham or Atlanta or anywhere else. If I were spending this on a roster and my boosters were engaged enough to do it, I would say, yes, so. Yeah, so that's the price of doing business. And there's going to be much more of this. I do not think go ahead, Reese.
I was just going to ask, would you be as bold, say if you were in a city like Lubbock and you had 35 to 40 million, would you be announcing it publicly what your total roster was going to be making this season as a way to show recruits and other people around the country, like, we're spending and we're serious about this. So if you want to earn your maximum or achieve your maximum earning potential and be developed, why not Lubbock, Texas?
Yes. Yes, I would. And so would you if you were running the Texas Tech program. You know what else, guys? For all the people who say, well, these kids are just out for the money, if they were your kids, wouldn't you be too?
Encouraging them.
Wouldn't you? If there were multiple millions on the table because of some absolutely broken system that you are somehow able to take advantage of for the time being, and who knows how long this is going to last like this. It's certainly here for the foreseeable future that it's going to be like this. If it were your son or daughter, if your daughter was a softball player as good as the softball player who went from Stanford to Texas Tech and they offered her $1 million to play softball, you're not going to tell her to do it? Think of that choice. She left Stanford. That's a damn fine school to go to Texas Tech. $1 million is $1 million, and she got it twice over. So if it were your kid, you'd be doing the same thing. I do think it's important, and I can't imagine how frustrating this is for coaches because you work your tail off in recruiting. I mean, it's an up at dawn siege, and you fly all over the country, and you build the relationships, and you do all the right things, and then it comes time to get a commitment or get a kid to sign on the line, which is dotted, and they say, well, yeah, coach, that sounds like nice money. I appreciate that. But actually, these guys are offering me this, and there's no way for you to verify it if that number's even right. There's no way for you to check it. There's no way to police it, and you're left holding a bag with no return. And that's where we're at. And I don't see anything, guys. I really don't. I see no scenario how this. I know that a lot of these, this is the other thing that's happening. A lot of these schools are loading up right now and spending as much money as they can. USC, Texas, Miami, others. They're spending as much money as they can right now for fear that there will be some sort of guardrail soon. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that there's going to be a guardrail anytime soon. I think this stuff will fall in court over and over again because you cannot limit what someone is going to get, what someone can earn on their name, image, and likeness. You can't.
Yeah, and with the NIL Go with Deloitte and the new clearinghouse, like they're going to, bless you, they're going to say deals greater than $600. But my question has been, what happens if they don't? Or what happens when you have now multiple $600 deals for the same player under just different names for these companies that have different subsidiaries? You missed this last week, but it was Rand Paul who introduced legislation that wanted to protect the NCAA and its member institutions from being involved in antitrust lawsuits. And his reasoning was what it needs to be is a fair market, a school and a player decide what that player is worth. And that to me is, it's ridiculous. And then two, because the only thing that legislation seemed to provide was just protection from being sued. And then you had Danny White, the athletic director of Tennessee, come out now with flowcharts of a collective bargaining process because they all understand that this is nonsense.
This was what I was talking about with Austin, guys. If this thing is collectively bargained, there is no stopping a booster from inducements.
Because it'll just go back under the table.
Well, correct. Reese, it can still be above the board.
That is true.
It doesn't have to go under the table. At no point did the NFL or the New England Patriots care what Tom Brady made from UGG. That's not policeable. And that's what NIL is. Is it what it was supposed to be? No. Is it the spirit of what it was supposed to be? God, no. It's pay for play is what it is. And James and I were on this early. I do think that this is the only thing that will stop this will be if there is true donor fatigue. If the donors say, man, I just shelled out over the last however many years, and I don't care how much money people have. What's my ROI? So am I getting burnt by what I have paid these players in terms of them not delivering? And is it better for me to donate my money to a building, a facility, so I can have my name on a wall, or should I buy the next 10 quarterbacks at Texas Tech? That's the only slowing this down, guys, in my view.
And that's going to probably happen at some point because people don't like just giving away their money and not getting anything back on it. Now, a lot of times they're giving this money away and they're getting tax returns on it, and that's huge for them. But like you mentioned earlier, Larry Ellison at Michigan, Reese, when is donor fatigue kick in for him, a guy that has that much money? You know, so not every team has that. So some teams, all these coaches want a level playing field and they want enforcement, yet it's never going to be a level playing field because of issues like that. And as soon as there's enforcement, you have coaches trying to find a new way to get around the enforcement.
They should have had this CBA thing, this NFL model, locked up before they opened the can of worms that is NIL. That's what a forward-thinking operation would have done.
Next guy can do it, though.
That's all it is. Pass the buck. Next. No, this is where we are. And the contracts will save it a little, but if you're making less money from the collectively bargained deal with the television partner to play at Ohio State than you are from the booster, who's still writing a big check every year for you to endorse, there's no policing any of that. And that's not happening anytime soon. I don't see any scenario how it could. I don't think it's going to hold up in a court. I don't think it's enforceable. I don't think it's policeable. I'd be shocked if anything really changes with this stuff tomorrow. I really don't think that it will. We'll get you three things on a Monday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.